Episode 12 starts with Vincenzo holding his gun to Jo Han-suk's head and pulling the trigger. However, we see that he only shot a blank in the air instead of blowing his head off. At this moment, Prosecutor Jung arrives with his team to prevent bloodshed. Vincenzo tells him Jo Han-suk is the real chairman of Babel, so he should arrest him. But Jo Han-suk uses the old trick up his sleeve of acting innocent and tells Prosecutor Jung that Vincenzo has gone crazy and is trying to kill him for no reason. Vincenzo is arrested on the spot, and Jo Han-suk is taken in for questioning as well. At the police station, Taec-yeon confronts Jo Han-suk, who tries to keep up the charade and insists that there is a misunderstanding. Of course, she doesn't fall for it at all. During questioning, Prosecutor Jung reveals that they have uncovered Vincenzo's true identity as a member of the mafia, but he's confused why all his bullets are fakes. Flashbacks show that before Vincenzo went to find Jo Han-suk in his house, he was telling Taec-yeon that the mafia seeks revenge by creating fear and destroying what the enemy loves the most. In this case, Jo Han-suk fears being exposed, and his greatest love is Babel, so he created his plan accordingly. He knows that Prosecutor Jung's men have been following him around, so he goes to Jo Han-suk's house on purpose to draw them there and force them to get involved. Next, he's going to continue revealing Babel Group's criminal wrongdoings and put pressure on Jo Han-suk by ruining his company. Back to the present, Vincenzo tells Prosecutor Jung that they know he wants to bring changes to Babel, so they should help each other. At the plaza, the residents continue to give Vincenzo a headache, and now more and more people know about the gold. Mr. Lee from Gunga Plaza clearly wants more screen time in the show and convinces Vincenzo to let him join the team. He's sent out on a mission with the shadow duo to find out Jo Han-suk's whereabouts since he's gone into hiding. Meanwhile, Miss Choi and CEO Han discusses with their legal team which charges Prosecutor Jung will go after first, and they suspect that he will tackle the Babel Chemical Labor Union first. Miss Choi wants to use an extreme method to solve this problem. What else can it be? Murder by truck, I bet. So they arrange a meeting with the Babel Chemicals Labor Union leader. CEO Han tries to talk her out of it and suggests that they let Chairman Jung go and take care of the business professionally. Miss Choi warns him to pick his side carefully, otherwise the rope that he's holding onto to save his life can very well be the rope that strangles him to death. The spy that Vincenzo and Taec-yeon planted at Ulsan law firm gives them an update on the latest plan of attack and office politics. Back to the tenants. They call a meeting with the Bye Bye Balloon hooligans to help them find the gold. He tells them of a sketchy character that he knows who's famous for finding gold. The pretty piano teacher, who's apparently secretly a hacker, mumbles to herself about how to get close enough to the ground. What's the story here? It's a very sharp turn of development. Miss Choi tries to make an offer to the labor union leader, but he's offended by her dirty dealings and tells her that he's going to go to the prosecution about it. Moments later, the guy is ran over by a truck and killed. Wow, I was right. Vincenzo continues to toy with Jo Han-suk even though he's fled. He hijacked the truck that was delivering Jo Han-suk's groceries to his hiding place and poisoned the water bottles. After drinking the water, Jo Han-suk becomes paralyzed in a bath and almost drowns. Vincenzo tells him on the phone that he had to be very careful to experiment with the dosage of the poison in order to make sure that he doesn't accidentally kill him, saying that don't worry, he will let him die very soon after he's had his fun. Not only that, he will let him disappear as a no-name lawyer never to be known as Babel's rightful owner. Jo Han-suk becomes enraged and asks for his guards to be changed. Miss Choi cheers him up by telling him that the labor union leader is dead. Jo Han-suk's mood changes instantly, and he even gives Miss Choi a big hug. When Vincenzo and Taec-yeon hears about the union leader's death on the news, they can tell that it's the work of Babel. At this moment, a few of the residents show up to let Vincenzo know that they don't need his help with the gold anymore because they have found an expert. Taec-yeon and Mr. Na are both in the dark about the gold until now, and Vincenzo tries to form alliances with them by promising them a portion of the recovered gold. Speaking of alliances, Agent An rushes in to ask for Vincenzo's help. He realizes too late that Mr. Na is in the room as well, and so his secret agent identity is revealed just like that. He tells Vincenzo about the Guillotine file, which is essentially a blackmail dossier compiled by the intelligence services at the order of the previous Korean Prime Minister. The file has since been hacked and stolen by the Chinese, and the intelligence services just kept pretending like that never happened. They mark it as highly classified so no one will ask to see it. Recent search for the Guillotine file has revealed that it's returned to Korea and is hidden with a bunch of black money somewhere. Its Chinese buyer died a year ago from a heart attack and the trail has gone cold. Agent An asks Vincenzo what he would do if he was the Chinese buyer other one Shaolin, which is hilarious because Vincenzo knows exactly what he would do and did. Meanwhile, CEO Han also catches wind of this and tells Miss Choi how serious the implications would be for Korea and Babel if the file was to be exposed. Miss Choi believes they should inform Jo Han-suk at the right time. Chairman Jung invites Jo Han-suk out hunting together, saying that Jo Han-suk must be bored from his quarantine. As they hunt, Chairman Jung keeps recalling his conversation with CEO Han. CEO Han tells him that if he wants to be the real chairman of Babel, he has to get rid of his brother. So he aims at him and shoots, and Jo Han-suk drops to the ground. But almost immediately, he gets back up again, and he is pissed. As he walks towards Chairman Jung, he falls again, this time finally passing out. But another hunter hears and sees Jo Han-suk injured, so Chairman Jung has no choice but to act concerned and asks him to call for an ambulance. Vincenzo and Taec-yeon learns about this quote-unquote accident and believes it to be an eternal war that has started within Babel. At the hospital, Jo Han-suk has a successful operation. When he wakes up, he tells Miss Choi of his dream of dying namelessly. Miss Choi tells him that if he doesn't want that to happen, he must reveal himself to the public. And even though they fully know that Chairman Jung intended to kill him, both agree to say that it was an accident, since he's the least of their worries right now. Mr. Choi meets Vincenzo and tells him that his daughter has to quit violin lessons as he's made some poor investments recently, knowing that he was going to get loads of gold. He wants the gold situation resolved ASAP so he can take his share. Vincenzo and Taec-yeon offer to send the residents on vacation, all expenses covered. They want the plaza vacated so they can get the gold. As for Chairman Jung, after shooting his brother, he's busy delivering a presentation at Babel Group to sell floors of the upcoming Babel Tower to powerful players in the industry. Jo Han-suk waltzes in wearing a hospital gown and holding an IV stand. What a dramatic entry. Miss Choi introduces him to the room as Chairman Jung's older brother and the real leader of the Babel Group. Everyone is shocked, and Jo Han-suk goes to give his little brother a menacing hug. With the plaza empty, Vincenzo and Mr. Cho rushes to the temple. Everything is going according to plan as they quickly remove a concrete slab to reveal a door. Using the iris scan that they stole from China, they enter the secret room and find themselves surrounded by tons of gold. Vincenzo came to Korea and went through so many obstacles just for this moment, and he is super excited. But not too fast, because suddenly a gun is pointed at Vincenzo's head from behind. The one holding the gun is none other than his trusty ally, Mr. Cho. This Korean drama is full of sharp turns, and this plot twist is no different. This episode feels like a transitional chapter with lots of setup for the future. Vincenzo is hounding Jo Han-suk, who's officially outed himself to the world. An internal war is starting at Babel as the brothers seem ready to battle to the death. And now Vincenzo has just been betrayed by the one person who he thought he could trust in Korea, when he finally gets his hands on the gold that he flew across the world for. I can't wait to see how Vincenzo gets himself out of the impossible situation in the next episode. As always, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's find out together in the next episode of Vincenzo. Thank you for watching!